Good morning, everyone. Today is February the 8th. It is a Friday, and this is the Futures in 5, taking a look at yesterday's trigger, which came very nicely at the failed retest of 2716. That was the confirmation zone. We now have a move into a primary support zone. That's what this is telling us right here. So until this breaks, we're going to anticipate that any deep moves into this area will find buyers and the bounces will find sellers. When will the buyers resume control? Well, truthfully, not until they get up above 2728 to 2730, but intraday motion will shift once we get up over 2705 to 2709. Between those two areas, remember yesterday I noted those as old support zones to get tested below the 2713 area. And then what we did was dip even further into that space, and now we're sitting underneath the old areas that I talked about as support yesterday. They're not going to be challenged as resistance. We're a bit boxed in with the SPX giving us a very narrow range, but that kind of volatility sometimes when the implied volatility is that low, it does give us opportunities to see range expansion because the implied volatility was extremely low at the open of the day yesterday. It is a bit higher, but still low. That's what we're looking for. Bounce is going to be sell zones. Pullbacks into this region will be buy zones, but if we stop breaching 2696, which we look like we're doing right now, we could see a deeper edge. Of course, you know my thought is we get into 2675, 2667, 2646, and 2630, potentially ripping the last few days of January out from the returns event. So we'll just see how that goes. Let's take a look at the NQ. Same sort of thing, a little bit worse behaved. Already breaking through this first patch. We can move this down. We can see 2880 was a really solid number that it needed to hold. We talked about that being support. Now we're going to look at it as resistance. I actually think I'm going to put an alert here to keep me aware of that edge right there. And of course the deep dips, going to find buyers at the first pass, but if we can't get up over the new resistance zone, it keeps telling us that our bounce zones are areas to sell. Okay, breakdown zones really nearby regions of critical support, but below that we've got this 6811. And if we move our chart over a little bit so that we can see what the last few days of January did, really breaking us out, low volume profile events here, we're very likely to see moves back into this area if we cannot bounce off of this zone. That being said, like all the charts, we are looking for buyers to show up at these critical mass events, right? Below the 2574 area, we are going to be prone to selling. And that means the bounces in that area are going to be sell zones until they're not. And I really hate having to be so trite about that, but it is quite true. This deep support, again, the end of January, the big breakout event, could bring us all the way down into 24,770, 24,750. But that's what we're looking at. Bounces, sell zones, pullbacks, buy zones. The second we hold and recover this area, we're going to have a little bit of a sea change in terms of downside pressure. And that's really what we want to look for, because downside pressure is prevalent this morning, and it is the prevailing pressure unless the buyers take hold over here, which they seem like they want to do that. And with volatility being tighter, it could be that we are going to be in a range-based environment today and sort of digest these moves. This one, really, take a look at this. This one, obviously sideways, obviously noisy. It triggered as resistance areas noted around this zone. And then once it got triggered, it faded right into our 5176 and this trend line. You can look at yesterday's video. See, it's the exact same trend line. I haven't touched it. It pulled right down in the zone. Frankly, I thought it would hold here. I did. Looked bullish enough to do it, and it sold off like crazy. What do I think? Failed retest on the horizon. Bounces into the retest region are going to bring us sellers. Where is that? 5307, potentially 5350, and then we're going to watch this area right around here. See how well, whoopsie, sorry about that. Charts, of course, brought to you by Motive Wave. And yeah, we're going to be looking at these areas. It's going to be landlocked a little bit. Great trading in sideways motion. If you've got enough discord between your momentum indicator, sideways motion is a beautiful thing to trade in the charts. But you do have to have discord. All right, gold holding very nicely. This signal says, hey, listen, I'm coming in for a support test. Look for support. We had the lineup right there. Came right into the area, and then it bounced. Yesterday, it came right up off this zone and bounced. Where are we bouncing to? Frontline resistance. Where